Hey and welcome folks. I wanted to bring to you a blueprint transaction. And what that means is it's a deal that can work any place, any region, any suburb, in any market, any part of the country. Now that's a very big promise, but what it's essentially doing now is bringing everything down to a generic formula. It's kind of like the McDonald's version of food. And that's what we're going to start with. You and me, we're going to be targeting right now a site that's maybe 900 metres to 1,300 square metres ideally. I'm going to show you we're targeting, the target property is a crappy old house on a larger lot. It was the kind of location that, back in the 50s, 60s, maybe even the early 70s, that was a master plan development or a master plan community, and every block of land back then was essentially a quarter acre, or the best part thereof. 1,000 square metres though today can be literally subdivided into 3 separate chunks, right? Provided that house is located in the right area of the site, we can now cut 2 extra blocks out of the backyard. So I'm going to be driving around right now looking for deals. I'm in an older established area. Point taken. Older established area. You can't do this in brand new suburbs developed by Stockland or Devine. I'm also targeting what I would say is probably a lower socio-demographic. Now, I'm not categorizing people. I am not one to be judgmental, I can promise you. What I would say is that this is an area that's a lot cheaper than most. This is not Rose Bay, this is not Peppermint Grove, this is not Hawthorne, Elwood, this is not Newstead. I'm trying to think of all the states in the country. This is not a blue chip premium location, it's just not. So we're going to look at generic deals, and if it doesn't have 770, 900 metres, 1,150 square metres as our target property, all you and I are going to do is amalgamate and literally go send a letter, a contact to the back property at the rear, the side property at both boundaries, and then look to option their backyard of 400, 550 square metres and start to bolt on an amount of area until it hits 1,500, 2,000 square metres. Now remember, through this, it's very important that we are not looking for vacant blocks of land. Vacant land disappeared back in the 60s. It doesn't exist today, right? And even if it is in a suburb, the vendor wants telephone numbers because somehow they think they've got the goose that laid the golden egg. So always in this blueprint generic type approach, we are looking for the old brick, old low set home on 1,200, 1,500 square metres, 900 metres if we have to, and we're looking to bolt on other properties. When I say that, I'm talking their backyards to now get us to 1,500, 2,000 square metres. Now, why is that such a big deal? Well, 1,500, 2,000 square metres is pretty easy to obtain, but remember, our ultimate buyers go crazy over this shit, right? They love it because now they can get 10, 12 townhouses on it. They can get 8 blocks of land in a small knit community. They can either put together a small lot community management scheme. They'll get 0 lot properties, meaning they've got a freehold block of land, but it's now only 250, 260 square metres per block with a home on it. There's so many different ways that they can do this under the town plan to maximise their profits. You and me, we're in the business of making fast money. So let's get out of the truck, let's find some deals, and I'll show you how we physically piece this together. I'll also jump onto a computer real soon and show you the satellite view from above so we can start to make sense of the infrastructure and the adjoining properties and how we're going to option up their backyards and try and create a magical 1,500, 2,000 square metres. So sometimes it pays to get on the ground. I'm a big fan of using satellite imaging through Price Finder. When we do an aerial shot, that just makes easy work of millions of deals. You don't have to worry about it, you don't have to think about it, you can measure boundaries, you can literally conduct all of your searches from your desktop. But every once in a while, if I'm not sure about a property, I will literally jump in the car and just go out and investigate. And the reason for that, the sense in that, is to actually see what's around. What's the vintage of the property? How old is it? Is it suitable? And we found one here. This is a no-brainer. So this is the amalgamation I was talking about in creating what I would say to you is a blueprint transaction. This works every freaking time, regardless of city, location, and even the market. You know, I'm focused always in the lower end of the market, never anything ritzy or fancy, flashy. And these are the sort of projects that developers love. They just eat up steak and potatoes, low-end product. You know, Sydney, that's delivering townhouses, apartments in that sort of 770 to about $1 million. If that were Melbourne, you know, in Melbourne today, we're delivering sort of around about that 540 to sort of 700. If it was Brisbane, you'd be talking around about sort of 485 to sort of 620. And Perth, you know, delivering product around about that 440, 450 to about 550, 560,000. So this is the sort of field work that I try and limit, but I think sometimes it has a place because it starts to give you a really good understanding of what's on the ground and what's the surrounding product look like. Mark, can I do all those searches from Price Finder? Yeah, you can, but I just find that this is a little bit more precise and it's a nice way of getting to know what's around. So in our pursuit, in our drive, I'm looking at this property here. Now this is probably circa 1940, 1950. You can see here it's still got timber windows, so that tells us it's definitely pre-1970. Now the property, I'm guessing, I'm looking down here, I'm probably thinking it's about 45 metres deep, and that's at least 20 metres wide. That's 900 square metres, give or take. Now, for you and I to hit that generic point where it's of high value to our ultimate buyers, we need about 1,500 to maybe 2,000 square metres. Now, regardless of where we live, let's be clear, I've got a hospital about 8 kilometres that way. I've got Aldi and Woolworths about 1.92 kilometres that way. I've got a motorway 4 kilometres that way, and I've got a university and a TAFE about 11 kilometres to the northwest. So we are really a part of it. You can probably hear the cars screaming by. This is a dual carriageway, meaning 2 lanes in both directions. So it's really got the makings. It's got the hallmarks of something really good. I look at this property straight away, and I know that block is about the same size as this, give or take about 800 to 950. This old house is perfectly located. Why? Because I can leave it where it is. I can literally excise that house and leave it on a smaller lot. That would be about 400 square metres. And now I've got the best part of 450, maybe even 550 square metres at the rear. I can approach this vendor right beside here, the next door neighbour, and start to now option their backyard. I can go to the neighbour at the rear, which you can see right down the back there, that brick house, and there's another 500 square metres at the back of their home. And that gives me another 500 square metres. 500 square metres behind here, I can now amalgamate the best part of 2,000, 2,300 square metres. This is a prime target. And this is the sort of deal whereby I might option this for only $890, $910, right? But I can go option the backyard of that property beside it for probably $175, $220,000. This owner here has most likely got a mortgage of maybe 450, 500 grand. If I give them 200, 220,000 for their backyard, that's half the mortgage gone like that. And they still get to live there. They still get to enjoy all the facilities. They still get to enjoy, you know, their home. But now they don't have to cut the grass and they've got half their mortgage paid off in an instant, not 20 years. So the more I can now assemble of this, I get that 1,500 square metre target, ideally even 2,200 square metres in this particular example. So these are the sort of deals that we do. And this is what I call a generic blueprint. I don't care where you are. You could be living in the back streets of Orange. We could be in the back streets, you know, of Maitland. We could be in the back streets of Bunbury. It doesn't matter where we are. These deals are literally everywhere. And if you start to think outside the boundaries of the existing property, profit now becomes so much more accessible and a lot more quicker. So I look forward to hearing you doing amalgamations, generic deals like this, and I look forward to seeing you bank some money. There's nothing better than seeing the dollars roll into your account, and I know that's a lot closer than you realise. Have a great Arvo. Bye for now.